Hello, good evening, everyone. Boa noite a todos e a todas. Sejam bem-vindos, bem-vindas à nossa atividade, né, a nossa live do Labor Day. Essa é uma atividade pensada para os nossos alunos, né, que fazem parte do programa bilíngue do Colégio Sacramentino em Salvador. E hoje nós convidamos dois profissionais, né, uma atividade pensada para a comemoração do mês do trabalhador, e convidamos dois profissionais, os quais serão entrevistados por nossos alunos, e para essa atividade eu conto com a ajuda de algumas pessoas. A primeira delas é a minha parceira de trabalho, Diandra Souza, que está aqui e vai me acompanhar na mediação da atividade. Say hello, Di.
Hi, everyone! Então, meu nome é Diandra, sou professora do quarto, do quinto, sexto e oitavo ano do Sacramentinas. Vou estar aqui com vocês participando dessa live.
Exatamente. Eu acho que eu acabei esquecendo um pouquinho de me apresentar. Sou Ian Cardoso, sou coordenador pedagógico, sou coordenador do programa bilíngue, né, do Colégio Sacramentino em Salvador. E, nesse momento agora, eu gostaria de convidar os nossos entrevistados da noite. Então, eu gostaria de convidar o Pedro Araújo, o nosso primeiro convidado. Pedro, are you there?
Pedro? Oh my God!
Bem, talvez Pedro tenha tido algum probleminha técnico, mas enquanto isso, eu gostaria de chamar Bena, que é a nossa segunda convidada da noite.
Hello! So let's see if... Oh, Pedro is here! Você não nos escuta? Acho que ele não está nos escutando. Ele não nos escuta, será?
Certo, um probleminha técnico. Vamos ver se a gente consegue ajustar.
Talvez ele pode tentar entrar, sair.
Isso, vou sugerir aqui agora.
Pronto. Então, eu acho que ele já fez isso. Acho que ele já saiu e já vai voltar. Às vezes é só um ajustezinho mesmo. Pronto. Vamos ver se ele vai.
Vai entrar novamente. Desconectou e vai conectar novamente.
Oi, Pedro. Está conectando o áudio.
Conectando.
Está com um problema de áudio.
Só um instante.
Pronto. Vamos só esperar um pouco.
Bem, coisas da tecnologia.
Acontece.
Vocês me escutam?
Sim.
Sim,
Ok.
sim. Deve ser algum probleminha, porque estava funcionando perfeitamente, né?
Sim.
Vamos ver se ele consegue. Tá.
Bem, eu estou tentando conectar novamente, mas então, Arbena, preparada aí para ser entrevistada pelos nossos pequenos
Sim, com
entrevistadores.
certeza. Sim, estou preparada.
Maravilha.
A gente pode apresentar os entrevistados?
Bem, enquanto o Pedro está tentando reconectar na verdade, eu vou chamar, né, vou convidar os nossos entrevistadores, nossos pequenos, grandes entrevistadores da noite. Vou começar por ela, que pertence ao grupo 5, tem 5 anos, é uma aluna bastante inteligente, esperta, comunicativa. Eu gostaria de convidar a Maria Júlia, representante da educação infantil do Colégio Sacramentinas. Say hello, Juju, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, bem, gostaria de convidar agora, nesse momento, ela, representando os anos iniciais de ensino fundamental. Ela tem 7 anos, também é uma aluna bastante inteligente, esperta, comunicativa. Ela que é da turma do 2º ano A, Maria Catarina.
Welcome!
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, hello, good evening, Kaka. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine too.
Oh, that's so cute.
Very.
Também representando os anos iniciais do ensino fundamental, eu vou convidar um aluno que também é muito inteligente, muito esperto. Na verdade, a gente só tem aluno inteligente e esperto nessa escola, né? Tem 9 anos, pertence ao 4º ano B, certo? O turno vai espertinho. É o Bernardo.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening, Bernardo. Welcome.
Lovely.
Bem, mudando agora um pouquinho de segmento, na verdade ainda falando do ensino fundamental, mas agora dos anos finais, eu vou convidar uma outra aluna que também é muito esperta, muito inteligente, muito comunicativa. Ela que tem 11 anos, é da turma do 6º ano B, Letícia.
Hi guys, good evening.
Good evening, Leti.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome, honey.
Bem, continuando nos anos finais do ensino fundamental, eu vou convidar um aluno que também é muito esperto, muito inteligente, muito comunicativo, gosta muito de inglês, 12 anos, faz parte do 7º ano A, inclusive aluno da professora Diandra, Antônio Alves.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi, Antônio, good evening, welcome. Pedro, acho que Pedro conseguiu conectar aqui.
Pedro?
Eu acho que ele continua sem nos escutar, provavelmente, né? Acho que ele não consegue ainda nos escutar. Então, guys, vamos dar início, certo? Enquanto o Pedro tenta aí ajustar essa questão técnica, né, da conexão dele. Vamos iniciar a nossa entrevista aos profissionais. Bem, como vocês podem perceber, Pedro, nesse momento, está enfrentando um pouquinho de problema técnico, então, vamos direcionar as primeiras perguntas para a Ardena, certo? A nossa primeira profissional, enquanto a gente consegue aí ajustar esse probleminha técnico com a conexão de Pedro, certo? E fazendo a nossa primeira pergunta, será da nossa primeira convidada da noite, né? A representante aí da educação infantil, que já está ali sorrindo, ansiosa para fazer a pergunta dela. Juju, so...
probleminha técnico?
Acho que ela está tentando ajustar ali o microfone.
What?
Hum,
What? Your job, Arbena.
oh,
Oh, very good, Maria Julia. My occupation is an English teacher.
mhm. Okay, very good.
Yes,
Yes.
very good.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Bem, a Arbena já disse, né, a occupation dela. A Arbena é professora de inglês. Durante a nossa entrevista, ela vai falar mais um pouquinho sobre a profissão dela, sobre her occupation. Mas vamos para a nossa segunda pergunta, né? Que quem vai fazer, a nossa representante aí do segundo ano, Maria Catarina, que vai fazer a próxima pergunta.
Where are you from, Arbena?
Very good question, Maria Catarina. So I am
Thank you.
from, oh, you're welcome. I am from Denmark. It's a country in Europe, in the northern Europe.
oh,
Okay.
oh. Okay, very good. Denmark. Okay, Dinamarca. That's really nice.
So, have you ever been to Dinamarca, Diandra?
Yes, I have.
Oh, Diandra, did you like it?
Yes, I loved it.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
Great.
Very good question.
Bom, vamos voltar então para a Juju, que tem mais uma pergunta. Nossa convidada. Acho que a Juju tem mais uma pergunta para a Arbena.
How old are you?
Okay.
Ooh, very good question. I'm very old. I'm 39 years old.
Don't say that.
It's the
You're
truth.
not old. You're not old, definitely.
Okay, 39.
Thank you, Maria Julia.
Okay, so good, Juju.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Bem, agora a gente tem mais uma pergunta. So we have another question. So, Bernardo, nosso aluno do quarto ano, é o nosso próximo aluno a perguntar. What's your question, babe?
Do you have a teacher in your family?
very good question, Bernardo. Well, I am married to a person who studied to become a teacher. And my grandfather, when he worked, he was also a teacher. So I have actually two people in my family, or one, because one, he already died. So, but yes, I have, yeah.
Okay, so you have like, so you had one, and now you had two, now one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So I have no one in my family.
Oh,
I had no teachers in my family.
So what about you,
okay.
teacher
No
Diandra?
teachers. I'm the only teacher in my family. Não
Do you
tem,
have one?
não tem teachers na minha família.
Me too. Me too. Well, bom, então...
Oh,
Ô, Pedro, good evening.
Uh,
Welcome.
Is it okay? You good?
Yes,
welcome.
we can hear you.
So,
okay.
So I think Kaká poderia perguntar a Pedro, actually, Kaká e Juju poderia perguntar também a Pedro a mesma pergunta que fizeram para a Arbena, né?
Pedro, where are you? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm
What?
from Brazil.
So,
to repeat, Pedro?
I'm from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Juju, what's your question? Acho que ela está tentando conectar ali novamente.
O microfone.
Pedro.
What's your job, Pedro?
What's your job, Pedro?
Okay, so my job is I am an airline pilot. I fly airplanes, the big ones.
Very nice.
That's a nice job.
You're welcome.
Good. Well, Juju, you asked about Arbena age. How old are you, Arbena? Would you like to make the same question to Pedro?
How old are you?
Okay. How old are you?
How old are you, Pedro?
So I am 24 years old.
Okay. 24?
Thank you.
Or
So young.
Yeah, it's quite young.
So, 24 years old, Pedro.
Yeah.
24, 24.
24.
He is old. He is old. He is
No. No. He's not old.
Well,
I think Bernardo.
Bernardo, yes, yes. Bernardo, would you like to repeat the same question to Pedro?
Yes. Do you have a pilot in your family?
Yes, I do. My father is also an airline pilot. So
Oh.
yeah, it is a family thing.
Isso.
What about you, Diandra? Do you have a pilot in your
I
family?
don't have. I don't have pilots in my family.
Great. What about you, Albena?
No, I don't.
No.
And you?
No. No, I don't. Well, question is with Katarina from 2nd grade. What is your next question?
What's your routine like as a pilot, Pedro?
What do I like as a pilot? Okay, so that's a big one. In my profession, I believe we really love what we do. So our daily life, it is very, very nice, you know, it is a lifestyle. When you become a pilot, you not only fly the airplanes, you also live the lifestyle. So I like to be in different cities, many different times during a week, for example. Last week, I've been to 6 different cities here in Brazil, and sometimes overseas. But as we are living this pandemic thing, we are waiting for the other countries to open their borders so that we can fly to a lot of other countries here. But for now, the best thing I believe in my life as a pilot is to just live this daily life as a complex, you know, very complex life, and seeing a lot of different landscapes during the same day or even the same week.
Basically, you don't have a routine.
Thank you, Pedro.
No worries, you're welcome.
What's your routine like as an English teacher, Arbena?
Well, so my routine nowadays, it's a little bit different than before the pandemic. So some things are a bit easier and others a little bit harder. But for example, I used to wake up and get ready to leave my house 1 hour and a half, 2 hours before my classes start. Yeah. But nowadays, my classroom is in my living room, or it's where my computer is. So it's very easy for me nowadays. Yeah. And other things that can be a little bit hard is, for example, we have to depend on the internet. And as we saw, Pedro had some problems connecting. This happens frequently because the connection is unstable. So that can sometimes make my classes a little bit boring or not so interesting because we have to be so dependent on the internet. But besides that, it's pretty much the same. I wake up, I teach during the day, so pretty much that. Yeah,
Okay, thank you to Arben.
anytime.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
Very.
Well, so far,
Eu ia falar que basicamente Pedro não tem uma rotina fixa, né? É mais um estilo de vida, como ele falou. E a Arbena também tem uma rotina que mudou um pouco com a pandemia, né? Eu acho que a gente também se identifica, não é, Ian? Com essas mudanças. A gente também.
exactly. Sim. Agora foi Diandra que travou um pouquinho, mas acredito que já deve estar restabelecendo. Now, everything's okay. Now, everything's okay.
Yes.
Sim, Di, exatamente. É um pouquinho parecido, né? A de Arbena com a nossa, na verdade. Muito diferente da de Pedro. Por exemplo, não estava em diferentes na semana passada. Mas a rotina de Arbena, sim, é muito parecida.
É parecido.
Nossa próxima pergunta é de Bernardo, nosso aluno do 4º ano.
Why did you choose this job?
Pergunta para os dois, né?
Question for Pedro or both?
Right.
Lady first.
Oh, thank you. Well, I chose this job because I have always liked English a lot. And so it was not very difficult for me to choose this profession. Besides that, I like teaching a lot and giving knowledge to students. It's something I really enjoy doing. So that's why I chose this job.
So what about you, Pedro? Why did you choose this job?
So as I said before, my dad is also an airline pilot. So I grew up like living this life in the aviation industry. So I think it's pretty much easy to see that everybody involved in aviation really love what we do. So it's something that it's in our blood, I guess. So it's just a profession that we love it so much. We just live for it. So it was very easy to decide to be a pilot, having a very good example inside my house.
Very nice.
Great. Well, I think Kaka has another question.
Sorry?
I think Katarina has another question.
Okay.
Do you like your job? Why?
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Katerina, yes, I like my job a lot because, as I mentioned, I work with English, which I like a lot. And I think it's important to work with something you like. Yeah. Besides that, in class, we usually have a lot of fun playing games. We laugh a lot. And I like making people feel good. So in the end of the day, I feel good too. So yes, I like my job a lot.
Thank you, Arbena. And you, Pedro?
So as I said before, yes, I love my profession. but it's not perfect, you know? So we need to work really hard to get up in a certain level of the career. So we need to work really hard. You need to study a lot. English is extremely important. If you would like to be a pilot, you need to study English a lot. So I've been studying English since I was 6, 7 years old. As you guys very young, so you are on the right path. And nowadays I have a little boy. I have a son. He's 1 year, 2 months right now. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to be far from him. It's the harder thing, I believe. But as we are living this pandemic, I've been flying very, I mean, like my routine has changed so much in the past month that I do not have a routine specifically saying that, for example, I haven't been flying as I used to fly before the pandemic. So I stay at home a lot. That's quite good. But when everything comes back, you know, the normality of our lives, it will be very hard again to be far from him. But it's just something that we can get used to, you know, so it's not that hard.
Thank you, Pedro.
No worries, thank you.
Muito legal ver que, apesar dos desafios, né, vocês dois gostam da profissão. São profissões que você precisa de entrega, né? Então, que bom que vocês gostam. Também gosto bastante. Compartilha, Armena.
Me too. Well, sorry, G.
No, let's go. Let's move on.
Well, our next question is all with Bernardo. So Bernardo has another question. And Jay, go on.
What's the best part of your job?
Okay, the best part of my job, I think, is when students improve their English skills and they are able to use everything they learn in the classroom in real life. For example, when my students travel abroad to the US or some countries in Europe, and they have to communicate in English, and then when they return back to Brazil and tell me about it, that they could communicate it with no problems. This, I think, makes me very happy, and I think it's one of the best parts of my job as an English teacher.
So what about you, Ben? What's the best part of your job?
So I think I said a little bit before, not only being in different places many times during the week, for example, during the month, we can be maybe more than 50 different cities. But the other thing that I really love about my job is to be literally flying the airplane, you know? You can imagine that huge thing that weighs more than 70 tons, which is unimaginable. You just think about that piece of metal flying, you know, and I'm in charge of that. So that's really exciting. That's really, I don't even have a word to describe the feeling, you know, but it's one of the best things I think in our profession. It's one of the best things we can feel.
Okay, thank you.
Média.
Yeah.
Any comments?
Não.
No.
E por bons motivos. Né? Eu compartilho com o motivo de Ardena. É muito gratificante ver os alunos aprendendo. Né? Também é a melhor parte de ser professor, sem dúvida. E só consigo imaginar, né? Como é você ser responsável por o que o Pedro falou, né? Aquele monte de metal voando, você que está ali comandando, realmente deve ser super exciting. Muito legal.
Yeah.
Exato. Bem, our next question is with Letícia. Letícia, o 6º ano B. So Amanda's a student. So Letícia, what's your question?
How many countries have you worked in?
Well, I have worked in my country, which is Denmark. I have worked in Sweden, which is a country next to my country. I have worked in Australia and Brazil. So I have worked in 4 countries.
Countries.
Yeah, 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about you, Pedro?
Okay, so I didn't have the chance to tell you guys that before. Actually, I didn't say that I work for Go Airlines, which is the orange one. And before being admitted to Go, I lived in Australia, but it wasn't as a pilot. I was there studying and working in general with a lot of different things. But if we think only in aviation, for actually in Go, we have as our destination the whole South America, which would be Argentina, Chile, Peru, other countries in South America. And we fly also to Mexico and United States. United States only to Florida, which would be Miami and Orlando. So I can say about like roughly 18 to 20 different countries besides Brazil.
Nice.
Very.
And actually, I didn't have the chance to fly to all of these destinations, but soon I will. I hope for the best to end this pandemic stuff, and hopefully we will fly a lot in the next years.
Oh.
Well, as I told you, Pedro is old.
Well, don't say that. It's not old.
Well, our next question is with Antonio. Antonio, what's your question, guys? Antonio, well, Antonio is from 7th grade. So, so is Diandra's student.
So, Pedro, when did you decide to follow this career? How old were you then?
I believe I was around maybe 7 to 8 years old. As I said before, my dad is also a pilot, so I grew up in this industry, so it wasn't that hard to decide what I would like to be. But to be honest, when I was around 14 to 15 years old, Brazil was facing a very hard moment in the economics industry, which affects a lot the aviation industry. So my dad was facing a lot of challenges. It was one of his hardest part in his career. And at that moment, I decided, even with everything sort of falling apart, I said, no, I would like to be a pilot. It's my passion, and I will follow it. So when I was like 14 to 15 years old, I really decided, no, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Nice. Very young.
Yeah.
And you, Arbena?
Well, I decided to follow this career path, I would say a little more than 10 to 12 years ago. And at that time, I was in my late 20s. So I was around 27 to 29 years old, yeah. So that's when I decided.
Very nice.
Good. Well, Leticia is the next one. Question.
What are the challenges of your profession?
Hard.
Of your profession.
Ladies first.
Thank you. So I think sometimes as a teacher, it can be a bit challenging, I think, to keep students focused for an hour and a half. And it can also be sometimes challenging, I think, to make students understand that English is actually quite important. It's as important as other school subjects you have, like math and biology or geography. Is just as important. So I think those two things can be sometimes a bit challenging as a teacher. How about you, Pedro?
So as a pilot, like our routine, as I said, it's very complex. So sometimes you need to face bad weather, and sometimes you have sort of a few problems in the airplane, which is quite normal. As you have your car, you can have a flat tire, you can have a problem with the engine, but you can just stop and fix it. And up there, it's a little bit different. So sometimes the weather can be very challenging, and all the airplanes problem, all the failures that we can have while you're airborne. So it's sometimes a little bit challenging, but it's not the routine. So it's pretty much this.
Any comment?
My sound. I was just gonna say, Cata, voltou. Não, só dizer que eu concordo com a Armena, né, sobre o mesmo motivo, né? Às vezes é difícil, né, fazer os alunos, né, se concentrarem, mas a gente sempre consegue um jeito. Né? E também é importante, é uma questão importante, né, mostrar a importância do inglês para eles. I agree, Armena.
Good. Well, our next question is with Antonio again.
So, Arbena, how long did you have to study and practice to be a teacher?
Good question. Well, Antonio, actually, I graduated from university in business and economics. Something a little bit different, yeah, from my country, Denmark. But as I mentioned, I have always loved English very much. And I started studying English when I was probably 3 years old. I was already speaking it. So I was very, very young. But I have taken a lot of courses in my country and here in Brazil. Courses on teaching, yeah. So if I combine all those courses, I think I have studied probably 3 to 4 years. Yeah.
That's my lifetime.
Pretty much. You're basically your lifetime. Yeah.
Yes.
You, Pedro.
Okay, so to become a pilot, it's quite easy actually. You have a lot of different degrees in the pilot career. So for you to be a private pilot, it might take around 6 months. Then you need to step 1 degree above and go to a commercial pilot. And then the next step would be an airline pilot, which I am at the moment. For me, I was admitted to forgo when I was 22. So it was around 4 to 5 years to finish all the courses, to have a little bit of experience to be admitted by a huge airline as goal. But it really depends on the moment that the country is facing. For example, now they are not hiring. It's been almost 2 years and probably will be another year to hire again. So it really depends, but I would say roughly around 4 to 8 years. I think it's a good measure.
So, sorry for interrupting you, Arbena. I didn't know you was going to speak.
Sorry?
I didn't.
Yeah. You.
I think he had some problem with his connection actually.
Oh, okay.
Why he didn't listen to
Okay.
maybe. Antonio, could you repeat, please?
Yeah.
I said sorry because when she was going to speak, I interrupted her.
Oh, you
It's okay.
interrupted her? I didn't notice.
I didn't notice either. It's okay. It's no problem. You
Well,
didn't.
he's
You didn't.
a gentleman guy.
Oh, so sweet.
I think our next question is with Leticia. Let has another question.
Yes. How did the COVID-19 pandemic affect your profession?
Well, the COVID-19 pandemic affected my profession, just like it affected pretty much all professions. But I think it didn't affect so much like that as others, maybe like Pedro's profession, yeah? Because we are still teaching, but it's just online instead of presential. So I'm still working, right? But there were some challenges. Like the biggest was to for us teachers to learn how to use online platforms like Zoom. But all in all, I think teachers we should consider ourselves pretty lucky to be working during the pandemic because many they stopped working completely, yeah, and we didn't. So that was pretty nice. So it affected a little bit.
In you, Pedro.
Yeah, she said already the whole thing was really hard. The first month of the pandemic for us, the aviation industry. Uh, I had bad feeling about what was coming at that time, but thank God it was just a bad feeling. So I'm still employed. I didn't lost my job. A lot of workmates had, but whatever. So we are just facing the pandemic and hoping to see a bright new horizon in front of us. But I think the worst was not only the financial part. It was really hard to readapt your whole life, uh, earning 30% of what I used to. It wasn't 30% of um, it wasn't 30% less of my payment. It was 30% of what I used to earn, you know? So it was really hard, but we are still alive, healthy, and that what really matters, you know? And we just go ahead.
Okay, that's pretty hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you'll get better, Pedro. Don't worry.
Vai
Hopefully.
melhorar sim, com certeza.
As I said before, we are healthy and ready to face new challenges.
Ok.
Tem Pedro, tem Corvina. Já estamos nos aproximando, né, do final
Now,
da nossa entrevista. E para finalizar, Antônio, tem duas perguntas, certo? Para fazer ainda. Go on, Antônio. Make the question.
So,
Tchau.
Pedro, if you were not a pilot, what job would you have?
Okay, so I believe I would be a police officer. I really admire this career, really do. Here in Brazil, it's special because it's a really dangerous place. A lot of bad people around, but yeah, I still prefer the aviation industry area, as a pilot profession, because it's not that dangerous, you know, and we have sort of a better lifestyle, in my opinion. But I really admire the police officer industry. I think it's a very, I don't know, it's very, it's similar to aviation about the passion that they have, you know, to do their jobs. The ones that I know, they really love their job, so I really admire them.
And you are, Bena?
Well, if I were an art teacher, yeah, what job would I have? So I think I would probably work within the area that I graduated in, which is business and economics. So I think I would work with numbers and with a lot of money. But I think I still would have something to do with English, definitely, because I love English so much, yeah. So probably I'll work for an international company or yeah, I believe that.
Policial e trabalhando com finanças, bem diferente.
Yeah. So, do you have any question, Antonio?
And Urbana, what suggestions can you give to people who want to be teachers?
Well, if you want to be a teacher, what can I say? I can say that if to be a good teacher, I think you need to be very patient. You need to be organized, and you need to be a people person, which means someone that likes to work with people. And of course, you need to like to teach. So definitely, I would suggest that. But and if you want to be like an English teacher, like me, so I think it would be a good idea if you maybe have lived abroad or worked abroad or maybe studied at some university abroad in another country. Yeah. So I think this would be a good suggestion for someone who wanted to become a teacher. Agree, Diana?
E you, Pedro?
I'm not a teacher, but I have to agree with Urbana. I lived in Australia for a year and a half. And guys, if you have the chance to live abroad at least 6 months, a year, an exchange program, just go for it. Trust me, you guys will not regret. So, as a pilot, I have to say for you guys, English, number one rule. We have world that is extremely connected. It's not only more in between cities and states, it's in between countries and continents. So if you are a ambitious guy and you want to really grow in your profession and you want to be an airline pilot, which is the highest level in the industry, you need to have a very good English, or at least a good English. But you always need to try to improve, as I am doing right now. I'm still not comfortable with my level of English. I'm always trying to improve my skills. It's been quite a long time that I haven't been practicing English. So you guys can see sometimes I struggle a little bit, but it's not that bad. But I still have a lot to improve. So the key is always studying. Always, always. Keep studying, keep growing, keep just on the right path and keep walking, keep running, keep doing anything you can do, just following that path, you know. And besides English, of course, the industry in itself requires you to have some special skills that you will only get to know when you start flying. So when you start flying, you probably will hear from your family members or your friends that it's too hard, you need to study a lot, it's very expensive. They will try to stimulate you, but just go ahead, you know, just follow, just focus, and everything in the end will be all right.
Very nice. Eu não consegui destravar o microfone para falar, mas sim, concordo, Arbena, completamente. I didn't have the chance to live abroad, but I think it's really important, definitely. E paciência, e ser uma people person, definitely. E English, so if you want to be a pilot, English is very important, e para várias outras profissões. You see, guys? English is very important. Então, acho que nós estamos encerrando, né? Gente, foi muito legal. Parabéns a todos pela participação. Juju, Bernardo, Catarina, Letícia, Antônio. E quero, obviamente, agradecer também aos nossos convidados, né? Meninos, 10. Adorei. Estão todos de parabéns.
Eu também gostaria de agradecer, primeiramente, aos nossos convidados, né, por terem disponibilizado um pouquinho dos tempos de vocês, do tempo de vocês, para estarem aqui participando, né, dessa atividade que é tão importante para a gente, né, principalmente nesse momento em que a gente não pode ter um contato físico mais próximo, mas a gente não pode deixar de realizar esse tipo de promover esse tipo de encontro, né, que fortalece aí o processo de aprendizagem dos meninos. Gostaria de agradecer aos nossos alunos que toparam esse desafio, né, para estar aqui, que também disponibilizaram um pouquinho do precioso tempo deles, tá certo? Em estarem aqui à noite, deixando de jantar, mas ainda dá tempo, tá certo? Agradecer as famílias também dos nossos alunos por serem tão parceiras, por toparem também, né, estar aqui, abraçar a atividade, abraçar a proposta.
Muito legal.
Os meus colegas de trabalho, a Diana especialmente, que está aqui comigo, e a todo o time, né, do colégio, do CNA. Então, espero que tenhamos outros momentos com outros alunos convidados, com outros profissionais, e mais momentos como esse, né, onde a gente possa proporcionar uma aprendizagem lúdica, uma aprendizagem diferenciada, e que a gente possa mostrar que o inglês, na verdade, é o que a gente vem falando há tempos, né? O inglês, ele não está presente somente naquele momento ali na aula. Ele passa por outros espaços, diversas profissões, diversas carreiras, enfim. Então, meu muito obrigado a todos, a todas, e a gente se vê em breve, tá certo? Um grande abraço, um beijo no coração de todos e todas. E good night, guys.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Parabéns. Bye-bye, Arthur.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.